So I want to talk about one of Fort Lauderdale's hidden gems, possibly best kept secrets, and maybe one of the best beach towns in the area. So stay tuned. Welcome to the Living Fort Lauderdale channel, where we cover anything and everything related to moving to or living in Fort Lauderdale and the surrounding areas. So if that's what you're looking for, make sure to subscribe. And I am a licensed realtor here in Florida, so yes, I do love making these videos, but I'd love even more to help you with your real estate needs. So my number and email are on the screen. If you have any questions or you're planning a move down here, I'd love to hear from you. So diving right in, what is Fort Lauderdale's best kept secret, best hidden gem, and possibly the best beach town in the area? I may be opinionated on this one, but today we're talking about Lauderdale by the Sea. So getting right into it, when we do these types of videos on certain towns, there's usually three main criteria that we look at. And the first one is going to be location and proximity. So where is it on the map? What's the walkability like? What's the drivability like? And how far is it from, the airport, downtown, the highway, stuff like that? The next thing we're going to look at is going to be the style. What's the lifestyle like? What kind of people live there? What kind of people visit there? What style are the houses? And the third one is going to be cost. Mainly cost of living, but maybe some hidden costs about living down there that you may not know about. So diving right into location, let's talk about it. Lauderdale by the Sea is in the northeast corner of Fort Lauderdale. It's on the Barrier Island. And to the north is Pompano Beach, and to the south is the Gulf Ocean Mile neighborhood. So it's a very small town, only about 2 square miles, which makes the walkability fantastic here. I mean, in my opinion, it's probably one of the most walkable areas in the entire Fort Lauderdale area. Everything you need is basically on 2 main roads in the town. So you have Commercial Boulevard, which is where you'll get the bridge that runs east and west, and then you have A1A or Ocean Boulevard, which runs north and south. And as you cross the bridge, you're going to see just a bunch of shops, little strip malls with shops, restaurants. And then as you get closer to A1A, you start to notice a little bit more. And then that area right there at A1A and Commercial Boulevard is what I call the square. So it's like the center of town. That's where you're going to find a majority of your small businesses, small, local restaurants. They got some bars over there. They got a whole area with just seating, and that's also where you'll get the entrance to the beach, the main beach, and the fishing pier, which unfortunately was damaged during, I believe it was Hurricane Ian. But aside from the lifestyle, which we'll get into in a little bit, that's probably one of the most popular things about the town is just the fact that it's so walkable and it has everything that you need right there. So as far as grocery shopping, if you go north on A1A, you do have a Publix. There's a little mall with Publix. There's the CVS in there. There's the First Watch restaurant, which is a really good place for breakfast. It gets really busy on the weekends. And then if you go south, you do have a Winn-Dixie. However, it's actually not in Lauderdale by the Sea. It's actually in the Gulf Mile neighborhood in Fort Lauderdale. So that one you may have to drive to. But as far as any other stores you may be interested in, like Walmart, Whole Foods, stuff like that, Target, you are going to have to cross the bridge to get to those stores. But boiling it down to really everything you need on a daily basis, you can get by without having to leave, for the most part. And if you do have to leave, let's talk about drivability. So you're on Commercial Boulevard. When you cross the bridge, you're pretty much a straight shot to I-95, maybe about 10 minutes. And then to get to downtown or Las Olas, you're probably about 15 to 30 minutes depending on traffic. And I would say 20 to 30 minutes to the airport, also depending on traffic. So let's get into lifestyle. So this town, the people who live here are very tight-knit and very protective over this town, and that also includes the people who vacation here. So typically the people who do vacation here, they don't kind of just land here. I mean, obviously people may just find a good deal on a hotel, but the people who do visit here, they kind of know where they're going. The town is very tight-knit, and it's not what you're going to expect for a beach area in Fort Lauderdale. You would expect the party scene, the high-rise condos, and here you're just going to get more of a small-town vibe. And that's one of the things that the locals here love about it. I mean, you're not going to find any chain restaurants. In fact, I believe the only chain restaurant that I could at least think of off the top of my head is going to be Benihana. But yes, local restaurants, local bars, local boutique shops, businesses, and it does kind of just give that feel that everybody knows each other, even if they don't. That's just the kind of feel the town gives. They do have a really popular farmers market every Sunday. It's only December through May, but it's every Sunday at El Prado Park. And if you really want to talk about a small town feel, one of my favorite things about the town is, and actually the residents voted on this back in 2015, I believe it was 2015, that any condos cannot be built above 4 stories. They basically just wanted to maintain the small town feel because Fort Lauderdale's been developing for a little while, so the residents didn't want to lose that small town charm. Also, it allows people to keep their views of the ocean, so you don't have to worry about any high-rise condos being built along the beach. Another thing that you'll often see in the town, especially on weekends, is you'll see live music in the square, that little area I was telling you about. You'll see live music there. There will be bands playing, people singing, so you can sit outside at Taco Craft or any of the other restaurants there, have your dinner, have some drinks, and you get live music. And as far as the style of homes go, I did mention about the height restriction on the condos, so you're not going to really see high rises, but the homes are very charming here, so you pretty much have everything that you would want to choose from single family, multifamily, some smaller condos, and some townhomes. And a lot of the homes are going to be located a little bit more west, going basically until you have intercoastal waterfront homes. Now, something else I didn't mention is that, because we were talking about the high-rise hotels and stuff, is that you'll find a lot of small, I don't know if you would call them hole-in-the-wall type motel buildings, and that's one thing that the people love about this town. They come here on their vacation if they don't live here, and they get to stay in these little beachfront motels that from the outside you wouldn't think to look twice at them. But some of them have been here for 40 plus years. I know the Plunge is a popular one. A lot of people love that hotel or motel. And I think the thing about this town is it's just not over the top. It's not over the top for what you would expect in South Florida. So piggybacking off homes, let's talk about the cost of homes here. For being as desirable of a town it is, it's not uncommon to find some small co-ops in the $100,000, well, I would say mid 100s to $200,000 range. But as far as more of an average price of what a majority of what you're gonna see is probably gonna be in the $600,000 range for single family, ranging up to about 4 or 5 million on the high end. Now, we have seen some homes in the town sell as high as 7, 8 million, but that's not gonna be the majority. So another cost I wanna tell you about that you may not even be aware of when you're coming here is that you have to pay to park everywhere. So even in those strip malls I was telling you about, they do have parking lots, but they're all metered. So while it's only about $2 or $3 an hour to park, it can add up, especially if you spend the entire day at the beach. Now, if you live here or if you live close enough, take advantage of that walkability. So as far as deciding whether a town like Lauderdale by the Sea may be right for you or not, there's probably only one way you're gonna find out, and you gotta reach out to me. So my number and email are back on the screen. If you have any questions about this area or really anywhere in the Fort Lauderdale area, I'm happy to help you any way I can, and I'd love to hear from you. So as always, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time.